Today, I would like to talk about a beautiful and nostalgic diecast model, the Matchbox models of yesteryear Y21 1930 Ford Model A Woody Wagon. This miniature represents one of the most charming and culturally significant vehicles of early 20th century, the legendary Ford Model A, specifically in its iconic, Woody Wagon, version. First, let's talk about the brand behind this collectible. The model was produced by Matchbox, a British company famous for its diecast vehicles. In the late 1960s and 1970s, Matchbox introduced the Models of Yesteryear series. Unlike their small, modern toy cars, this series focused on classic and vintage vehicles from the late 19th and early 20th centuries. The goal was not just to create toys, but to celebrate automotive history in miniature form. The Y21 is one of those carefully crafted tributes. Now let's move to the real vehicle itself, the 1930 Ford Model A. The Model A was produced between 1927 and 1931 as the successor to the famous Ford Model T. While the Model T revolutionized mass production and made cars affordable for millions, the Model A represented a major step forward in design, performance, and comfort. It featured improved engineering, better styling, and more powerful engines. The Woody Wagon version is particularly special. The name, Woody, comes from the real wood panels used on the body of the car. Unlike standard steel-bodied cars, the Woody Wagon combined metal with beautifully crafted wooden side panels and framing. This gave the car a warm, elegant, and handcrafted appearance. Originally, these vehicles were practical utility wagons, often used for transporting goods or passengers. However, over time, they became strongly associated with leisure and coastal culture. In fact, the Woody Wagon became especially popular in California during the 1940s and 1950s. Surfers loved these cars because they were spacious enough to carry surfboards. The wood-paneled sides and relaxed styling perfectly matched the beach lifestyle. Even though the 1930 version predates the surfing boom, it later became an icon of that culture. This is why Woody Wagons remain highly collectible and admired even today. Now, let's examine the Matchbox Y21 model itself. This diecast miniature typically comes in a scale of around 1/40, which makes it larger than standard Matchbox cars. The model features a striking yellow bonnet, a contrasting brown chassis, and carefully detailed wood-paneled side effects. The wood detailing is especially important because it captures the essence of the real Woody Wagon. Matchbox paid attention to small details such as the shape of the grille, the curved fenders, and the classic spoked wheels. One of the reasons collectors appreciate the Models of Yesteryear series is the balance between playability and display quality. The model is sturdy and well made, yet it also has a vintage charm that makes it suitable for display in a cabinet. The paintwork often has a glossy finish, and the proportions reflect the elegant lines of the original 1930 vehicle. Historically speaking, the 1930 Ford Model A Woody Wagon represents a transition period in automotive design. Cars were becoming more reliable and more stylish. Roads were improving, and families were beginning to travel more for pleasure rather than necessity. The wagon body style symbolized freedom, movement, and adventure themes that continue to resonate with collectors today. Another interesting aspect is how the Woody Wagon reflects craftsmanship. In the early days of car manufacturing, wood was still an essential structural material. Skilled carpenters were needed to assemble the wooden frames and panels. Over time, as all steel bodies became standard, this traditional craftsmanship disappeared. That is why surviving original Woody Wagons are rare and valuable today. In miniature form, the Matchbox Y21 preserves that memory. It allows collectors to hold a small piece of automotive history in their hands. Whether displayed alongside other vintage vehicles or kept in its original box, it tells a story about innovation, culture, and design. Thank you for listening. Hope you enjoy.